What's up, y'all? So I'm back for another episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 7, episode 8, Queen versus Queen. Before I get in to the actual episode, there's some shit I want to get off my motherfucking chest, especially when it comes to this shit. And I know people have different opinions. My channel is probably not for everybody, but for those of you who it is for, please be sure to like and subscribe. Okay. Um, Before I get going on this cast and this episode, okay, I want to make a couple of things real clear before I forget. One, Wendy. I realize that this is a huge platform, and if you get casted and get a huge salary very quickly, it's great. However, even though I have problems with what I think is your very elitist attitude and also one of a model minority, considering your Nigerian heritage, which you want to lord over other people. I do think that your education and your profession, honestly, is unfit for this show. And I don't say that to be dismissive of you. I actually think that it's a little too lowbrow for what you are supposed to be doing with your life. I know you may have other goals and other ways you want to accomplish those goals. I do not think that in the long term, this show will be worth it. That's what I meant when I said before, when I was talking about if I think a lot of her behavior would be perceived differently if she was around women who had similar professions and interests. And that's just not the case for this show. All right. You have a PhD, a job at Johns Hopkins, although I'm not sure how long it's going to last. Seeing, did y'all catch that at the beginning of the episode? John Hopkins has no association with the Real Housewives of Potomac. That to me is a slow fire, honey. I told you I didn't think that she was going to get tenure. I could tell because she was on this show, and I think this is her way of trying to make sure she makes X amount of money. But all money ain't good money, and quick money ain't necessarily long lasting money. Hello? Okay. So, and the thing is, Johns Hopkins is this is no small feat. What she has accomplished is exceptional. It's one of the top universities in the world. So, the thing is, she's on a cast on a show with people, this is their main bread and butter. These chicks have nothing to lose. They are on this show, and a few of them finished college. This is not to take anything away from them, but a college degree is not the same as a PhD, period. Now that ain't up for debate, okay? So they have a whole lot less to lose. A lot of these people, this is their last lifeline, okay? Giselle, Charisse. I don't think being on here for Wendy is worth it. And it's clear that this has become the season to pick and bully you. And like I said, I'm not here for this colorism bullshit. Because if that's the case, I want people to explain to me why the fuck people have spent the whole season going in on Karen. Why the fuck, when it happened to Monique, it was she's violent, she's crazy. They were using all the same racist language that white people use when they are trying to tell black people that they're aggressive and they're this and they're that. They use that same fucking language. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I ain't saying that colorism don't exist, so don't get in my comments saying, oh, because you're light skinned, you don't understand. No, 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 no. Colorism goes both ways. And colorism is deeply subjective. Okay? And so miss me with the bullshit. Okay? Miss me with the bullshit. Everybody has had their chance to get dug on. These are a bunch of jealous ass bitches. Giselle, Robin, who's another one? Ashley. Miserable ass bitches who just go in on other people just to be mean, just to be cruel. Charisse is another one. Okay, now there are cases of colorism, and we need to save those for when we are having real conversations. Because we can talk about how blackness is perceived in a certain way. Let's talk about the fact that Angela Bassett played Tina Turner. Tina Turner's a light skinned woman. Let's talk about the fact that Denzel Washington played Malcolm X. Malcolm X was a light skinned man, but those were still iconic characters because we're all black in this society. I would never take that away from them. But don't tell me this is something that it's not. These are a bunch of jealous bitches fighting each other. And let's leave it there. Okay. Um, so anyway, I said it to say this is also moving on from that. This is a huge come up for somebody like Mia. No explanation needed. This is a lifeline for Giselle and Robin, but for Wendy, even if your big money came later in life and it took a little bit longer, that to me is worth it than you being on this show. Anyway, number two, do y'all remember? This is the stuff I'm getting off my chest before I go in on them. If you think I'm going in on them now, okay. So number two, do y'all remember that show that got canceled off VH1 called Sorority Sisters? And yes, I did watch it. Where those black Greeks, the Divine Nine, the black middle class, and everybody who wanted to be a part of those groups lost their mind over, in the words of Mark Lamont Hill, because now they're exposing us. It was fine when it was Mark Lamont Hill, as he explained it. It was fine when it was those black people, and he's a black Greek. Okay, he's a Kappa. And I remember him having that show on Huffington Post, and he was having that conversation, and I thought that was a real conversation, and it needed to have been had. Anyway, they pulled that show off. All these black people that all of a sudden we didn't know that black people like CEOs had this money that they could pull advertisements and everything else. Now that they felt like they were exposed, they didn't care nothing about them other black people. Why do I bring this up? Those black Greeks got the pulling ads, had that show pulled off air, and made it impossible to even purchase it on like Amazon or any streaming service. Now, if the issue was this from the gate in terms of why VH1 Sorority Sisters was taken off because of the way it made Delta look, aka look, the SG Rose, whatever the case is. All right, and I don't belong to any of those organizations. So I know there's gonna be some people in their feelings, but oh well, keep it moving. Okay, so where the fuck is AKA now? Okay, with their public statements. Giselle and Wendy are going back and forth for 2 seasons. Giselle is lying on her family. Wendy, to me, is a much better representation of a group, an Alpha Kappa Alpha, than Giselle is. Where are the public statements that we don't condone this kind of behavior? This isn't what sisterhood is. Giselle purposely lied and spread rumors about Wendy's husband last season. I ain't forgot. Wendy's a weak bitch for even trying to hook her at that spring fling party. But I'm going to let that go for now. And them getting into a verbal fight where Wendy was threatening Giselle. Oh, yeah, don't think I forgot. I'm putting your ass on notice. Same difference, bitch. None of that behavior is acceptable, even though we all know Giselle deserved it. But my thing is, where's the concern for this bullshit ass sisterhood now? Oh, why? Is it because they're paying their dues? Is it because it's not called Sorority Sisters? Is it as much as the title? Because I'm going to need y'all to have that same fucking energy. And if it's an issue of appearance, then I'm going to need AKA Delta Sigma Theta for Robin and all the rest to be just as outraged now as they were then. Okay? Because it's a lifetime membership anyway. So if, like I said, I don't even want to get into this. If colorism is an issue, many of you seem to think it is. I just think these are some weak and twisted bitches who are jealous of women who have what they want: a husband, kids, a seemingly happy marriage, good money coming in. This is the case for Wendy. It was the case for Monique. It's the case for Karen. When everybody was fucking with her while her parents were dying. Okay? You see, they ain't going after Sharice like that. They're not going after Giselle like that. They're not going after Robin like that. Why? Because don't nobody want to fucking beat them bitches. Get the fuck out of here. And now they going after Chris Bassett. Get the fuck out of here. They just some jealous weak ass bitches, okay? I'm not saying that colorism doesn't exist. What I'm saying is, on this show, I think y'all are driving that point. Y'all are making something out of something that is not the case here. It's just not. All right. But anyway, trust me that the black Greeks ought to have something to say publicly, especially if this is the case regarding colorism. If they really think it is, especially considering their history, they should be out in front trying to say something, but they're not. Okay? And so this is what I'm talking about, and what other people have talked about prior to me when they talk about selective outrage. All right, now that I got that off my chest, let's get into this motherfucking episode. So, season 7, episode 8. So when we get there, they're at the table at the restaurant. First of all, why are y'all still at the table? I would have been so fucking embarrassed. That is so not classy. I don't give a shit about dessert. I would have left. Okay? I mean, left. Got in a lift, left, packed my shit, just waited at the airport, kind of left. Okay, so Giselle is empathizing with Mia. All of a sudden, it's okay for Mia to lose her temper, but like Wendy pointed out, when it was Monique, all of a sudden you were against it. Pick a side. Pick a side. So, but she not, because she's a hating ass bitch. But you should have caught that. All right. Wendy is complaining about how she is gonna beat the shit out of her, but she's talking. So Robin, for you to call Karen, excuse me, call Karen out and say she should have diffused it when you threw gasoline on that fire and you literally are projecting onto Wendy what you're doing, antagonizing the fuck out of Wendy. Karen called out both Wendy and Mia for their behavior, but I don't give a fuck even if she didn't. I be goddamn. If somebody gets to throwing water, they'll get to hurling insults, and I'm fucking 60. You think my first instinct wouldn't have been to do this? Yes, it would have. Call me a punk. I don't care. So she said, Karen's like, it was my birthday. And Mia invited Sharice. Did Mia have my back? I said, well, Miss Karen, that's why you all right with me. All right, so then they get in the car. Karen is being blamed in the car with Robin and Giselle. They are some delusional bitches. Like, do they really believe the shit that's coming out of their mouth, or are they just that bitchy? All right, so Karen is being blamed for not diffusing a situation she had nothing to do with starting, and Giselle and Robin egged on. These, let me tell you something. I couldn't be around these bitches. They too crazy for me. So all the shady pieces of shit went to the basement of the house when they got there. Sharice, Robin, Giselle, Mia. Wendy is about to leave. Ashley helps her take her bags out, just to be supportive. I mean, even Ashley's messy ass just, I think, just felt like, wow, like this was really messed up because it was. It was. So Giselle is laughing about, having a better day and all this other shit. Giselle, bitch. Anyway, Miami Day 2. So Giselle is calling Ashley out about being upset when Ashley said, yeah, I was. I just don't like violence. And Giselle was like, well, good thing you were in the bathroom at the bar when the Monique situation happened. Why? Monique asked her to write a statement about her character. Monique asked her to write a statement because Candace was trying to put this woman in jail over something that she egged on. And Ashley wrote a statement on her character. That's not who Monique is. Regardless of what happened, that was the point she was making. I ain't even trying to get into that, so don't get my comments about Ashley's role in that. Whatever. All right, bitch, you justified Mia's bullshit, and all of a sudden, for Mia's violence, and Wendy called you on it. Wendy called you on it, Giselle, and you trying to throw that shit back at Ashley. That's bullshit. And then Sharice and her dumb ass, that seems contradictory. Bitch, you weren't even there. You weren't even on that season. You're coming across as a fan. You're coming across as desperate for a housewife position. And deductively, I am deducing that you're broke. Okay? So anyway, at the pool, Candace gets there. Candace arrives. Let's just put it that way. Candace feels like Wendy is being ostracized. Yeah, facts. And Wendy is still in the city, but at the hotel. Wendy, Wendy. I don't give a fuck about that contract. I don't give a fuck. It's not worth it. Take your black ass home. Tell your family and go teach your classes. Since you are so above it all. That is no place to stay. Because then you're just by yourself. Then it's not a trip. What the fuck? So Candace starts that bullshit crying that we all tired of her doing, talking about she's being triggered and people don't get to fight because they can't use their words. The fuck they don't. I'm not saying it's right, but you can't just talk out the side of your neck, which really wasn't the case with Mia and Wendy. Mia, you egged that shit on. Wendy responded. You threw that water in her face. You was fucking wrong. Period. Okay. Period. All right. But I'm just saying, yeah, people can. Yes, people can. Everybody actually can't be as articulate with their words or get so angry that they get to fighting. And you know what? If you don't like the fact that I think that, once again, keep it moving. Keep it moving. There are plenty of people on YouTube who will agree with you. All right. So, well, bitch, that's a chance you take when you talk too much. And Wendy is elitist. So while we're talking about colorism and color is this, Wendy is elitist. Wendy is somebody who walks around weaponizing her education. I'm not saying she should be proud of her education because she should. Like I said at the beginning, I think this show was way too lowbrow for her. But the way she does it is the way I've seen a lot of immigrants, particularly Nigerian immigrants, come into this country and act as if they are above African Americans. So let's address that too. All right, two things can exist at the same time. I'm not saying that colorism and elitism can't exist. I'm just saying this is not the situation. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying fuck shit and jealous bitches. That's what the fuck I'm saying amongst black women, and it's pathetic. Anyway, Karen is the only one with a consistent stance. She's better than me. Because those weak ass bitches would have been in the dust and I would have left. Candace was like, two wrongs don't make a right. I'm not gonna tell Mia she was right. I'm not gonna tell Wendy she was right. Actually, I'm gonna tell them where they were both wrong. The same way she did with Candace and Monique. It's just a matter of who can handle the fact that she is challenging them. All right, Robin is talking shit about Candace crying. Candace crying gets on my nerves. But Robin, you're talking shit because I don't know what the fuck your deal is. Other than the fact that you up Giselle's cooch. Like, I don't get it. So she's saying that there is no comparison to the Monique situation. Candace talking about her trauma. And Robin says there's no comparison to the Monique situation when they were both wrong. Okay, so what's the difference in terms of what happened? You gonna drag me? You gonna drag me? Do you want me to? Do you want me to? And then you throw a glass, she gets drunk. Cut it out. You just didn't like her because you were jealous because you're broke. Next, Candace, Ashley, and Karen are inviting Wendy officially to the event, and Karen says, because it is my birthday. Candace kept saying to Wendy, you deserve to be here. And I get what Ashley and Candace are saying about, Wendy shouldn't be ostracized, but the bottom line is, if we're going to keep it all the way real, Mia's paying for this trip. She don't have... she don't have to let nobody be there that she don't want there. It sucks, but she don't have to do that. So saying somebody deserves to be here is not the same as like, you know, um, a black kid in like college at an all white institution who feels like they're not good enough, and you have to give them that pep talk and go, you know what? No, you deserve to be here, and I want you to work for it. Girl, bye. That is not the same thing. Like I would have left. I would have left, and I would not have gone on a trip with a bunch of bitches I'm not friends with anyway. Karen made an executive decision to go and check on Wendy. She was like, that was clear. She made that clear to Mia. Like, nobody's going to tell me as a grown woman what I can do. That's why I fucks with you, Karen. So Candace, they're in there doing drinks, and Candace said, well, limes are for bitches. That's what she said to Robin. So her and Robin have like a back and forth. Candace says, Robin, we'll talk later. She says, no, we won't, because she's still up Giselle's cooch. Okay? So Mia says that Candace and Ashley don't have a place to stay for going to visit Wendy, but not Karen because Karen told her what she planned to do directly. And then Ashley and Candace both in their confessionals are talking about Wendy's big feet, which is like a seventh grade dig to the tall girl. You know her like you might have been taller than everybody else. Oh, it ain't my fault your feet are big, this and that. Like she's tall. What the fuck? Like if y'all gonna go in on somebody, go in on people with like some real stuff. Miss me with the bullshit, cause you could read me up for days. But her feet being big, that's weak. At the restaurant that they meet Wendy at. So Wendy said that Peter, she starts spilling stuff now in terms of her issues with Peter. And she said that basically Peter had told her, I guess her and her husband, that Mia did some snake shit to Peter's girlfriend, who was his girlfriend at the time. And so she was like, so when did they become family? And Ashley is like, well, that makes sense in the sense that Mia started acting like the Hulk at the table. She was like, I think she acted violently because she does not want anybody to know that. And I think that's what people are also speculating with her fallout with her friend Jacqueline, which I kind of feel like is foreshadowing. The way Jacqueline is kind of low key, quiet, and not overdoing it when Mia gets mad just says to me that she's kind of pulling back. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like right now. We haven't seen the whole season. So Wendy claimed that Mia was on a power trip and says that just because you put on a blazer and stilettos doesn't make you a boss. Then she says, in true Wendy fashion, when was the last time you read a book? I wrote one. The last one you read was probably Green Eggs and Ham. Wendy, this is why people don't like you. That wasn't even an appropriate read. And let's talk about why you got all that blonde hair in your head. It looks bad. It looks like you tried to lighten your skin in a confessional. I don't know, just like I don't know who had Giselle and Karen tanning like white women to put them in the confessionals. I don't know who's doing your confessional looks, but it looks a mess. And Wendy, you're a pretty girl. You can do better than that. Anyway, but just that kind of, this girl was in foster care. This girl was in sex work because she had to be for a long time. Like, and I'm not saying that excuses any of Mia's behavior, but what I am saying is find a different kind of dig. Once again, you can go in on Mia for a lot of shit. Then do it. Anyway. So at the beach, Giselle talks about Mia and Jackie being in the shower together. Giselle, you are awfully interested in everybody's sex life and then don't want to tell anybody about yours. So her and Robin ask her if they've ever like gotten it on. They say no. But Jacqueline's like, yeah, I did kiss her ex boyfriend on the lips, or she, and then she ends up kissing me on the lips. I don't know, something like that. So Robin continuing to do some bullshit, saying Mia doesn't seem to have a cancerous lump on her ass while she was, dancing at the pool. I told y'all before, I don't play about cancer. My mother is a breast cancer survivor. Two, I'd rather it just come out that Mia wasn't telling the truth than to doubt her story. I'm not going to do that. And two, Robin, you got, no, three. And Robin, you got your motherfucking nerve. You up here eating off this bitch with your broke ass. And I don't even know why I keep saying that, but something about the fact that they always trying to read other people's pockets is why I'm going in on Robin. Okay? Because we know across the country people struggle, but at least we ain't on TV trying to pretend like we big. That's the difference. Okay? But you smiling in her face. That's some fake ass shit. That's what I was talking about. So Candace takes Wendy to the studio to meet Trina. Candace starts that fake ass crying when she talks about how grateful she is. I'm I'm not gonna even do it. It's not even necessary. Candace, you can't sing. And I don't know if it's something with the Candies and Candaces of the world where your vocals just don't hit. Catch. Um, but she certainly doesn't have a voice for a career. And at her age, she can't pull, whom I love, but she can't pull a Rihanna dance hall thing. Like it's too late to market and promote her that way. And this show hasn't helped. So I advise you, Candace, sister to sister, black woman, stay in school. Go ahead and get that advanced degree and go sell hair. Okay? And all the overreaction, oh my gosh, this is so great. Yeah, 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 yeah. Over a terrible song was whack. Yeah, good thing Trina put in a feature to kind of give it that oomph, but still, I would not buy that. And that shit was whack. I mean, how long, Wendy? Wendy, you are known for overreacting, like to people you aren't even that fucking close with, i.e., Robin's engagement. And I'm sitting up here like, this is her dream since she's been a little girl. And as a friend, you have known her for 2 years. You came into this show being introduced by Candace, essentially. Miss me with the bullshit. And especially since we got the preview for next week when Candace is talking about how all these bitches are fake. So, lastly, we get Karen and Mia sitting down. And Jacqueline sits both Mia and Karen down. Mia says that Karen is straddling the fence. No, she isn't. No, she isn't. You're mad she is not showing the level of loyalty that your friend Jacqueline shows this quote unquote ride or die shit. You've known that girl since you were 15. Karen doesn't owe you that and nobody else owes you that. Like Karen asked you, does being loyal mean telling you you're right when you're wrong? Exactly. Okay? Uh, bitch bye. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Karen don't owe you shit. And I'm done here. Be sure to like and subscribe. And I will talk to y'all soon. Yeah. All right. Bye bye.